Okay, let's bring in Hadani Ditmars, who is in Vancouver, Canada, for us. Hadani, just incredible pictures there. What's the latest on the situation there?
Well, the mayor of Abbotsford, Henry Braun, today said the worst is yet to come. We've already into potentially billions of dollars in damage, but he's worried about what's going to happen next week when it's predicted that there will be another 100 millimeters of rainfall as early as Monday or Tuesday of next week. So it's a kind of I guess you could say calm before another storm as people try and reassess and plan for next week's extraordinary rainfall as we're on the front line of climate change here in BC. You have to remember that a lot of the rural communities that were devastated by the flooding, such as Merritt, have only just recovered, and barely at that, from the fires in the summer. There were wildfires, as you had in Turkey, that ravaged those same communities that are now dealing with the aftermath of the floods. So it's a very dramatic situation here. We're seeing the fruits of climate change unfold in terrifyingly real time. Of course, in Vancouver, where I am, there's a kind of eerie sense of calm because we're literally sort of an island now, as many other communities are. But the largest port in Canada here, the Port of Vancouver, has been cut off from supply chains. So we're looking at issues around supply chain, food shortages, etc. We haven't seen the kind of panic buying yet in Vancouver that fortunately that has occurred in some of the smaller communities that are really stranded.
I mean, we understand the armed forces have now been brought in to assist some of those rural communities. Will that help the situation?
I hope it will. I hope it will, because there's really a desperate need, especially in places like Abbotsford, where you saw some of those very dramatic pictures of livestock, cows being pulled from the water. It's really tragic to see this all unfold. And a lot of these are families that have been farming for generations. So it's particularly devastating for those rural communities. And of course, this is where most of our food comes from. So I think we're also looking at the longer term effects. This is not going to be a quick fix. There are huge issues around agricultural land, around food, around supply chains, and now around devastated transportation infrastructure, which is going to cost billions of dollars to repair.
I mean, you mentioned there that the wildfires in the summer, and now we're seeing this catastrophic flooding, and scientists, as you say, are attributing this all to climate change. It's been called the worst storm in a century. How are people there reacting to those claims? What do people there think about global warming and the issue of climate change?
Well, I think that most people in British Columbia are seeing climate change happen, as I said, in terrifyingly real time in front of their eyes. That said, someone just posted something today on social media that kind of shocked me, with a conspiracy theory, saying, oh, it's not climate change, it's, I don't know, some conspiracy theory about the military. I mean, so there is still a small diehard contingent of climate change deniers here, which is incredible, but I don't think any of them are the ones that have been most directly impacted by this latest disaster.
Okay, Hadani, thank you. Hadani Ditmars there updating us on that catastrophic flooding in British Columbia.